Hi, I'm Linda Higgins with Placer County Water Agency.
And I'm Greg Gayton with Green Acres Nursery and Supply.
And today we're going to talk about fire-wise, water-wise landscaping. So this morning we were at the fire station and we saw a lot of, I'm assuming, these plants here. And so this one I saw this is a butterfly bush at the fire station, but it was a lot bigger. So is this is a little guy?
This is a butterfly bush, the buddleia. This is a dwarf variety, and throughout the years, more cultivars have been introduced. This is a dwarf one that doesn't need to be cut back as often, and there's a multitude of colors that it comes in, so it's really beautiful. Loves the full sun and very, very water-wise. Once it's established, give it a year or two to establish itself after a good drip watering system is installed, and it'll be really great throughout the years.
And then, and I noticed it comes in different colors too. And I think this is a salvia, and this is also something that we saw at the fire station too.
Okay, this is salvia, yeah. It takes full sun, extremely water-wise. Once it's established, it doesn't need as much water in the summertime. So give it a couple years and it attracts pollinators like hummingbirds and bees. It looks beautiful throughout the summertime and it's very fire-wise. It doesn't have any resins in it, so it's not going to combust if we get a fire as much. All plants can burn, but this one's not going to go up in flames really quick. So we really consider this fire-wise.
Okay.
And it comes in a multitude of colors as well.
Yeah, I saw that. The red right here, the purple.
And pinks.
And then, so this is now I already forgot. So this also was at the fire station, but it was in yellow. And this was a Texas yucca.
Yeah.
And this is also water efficient.
Very water efficient. Full sun. You can put it in decomposed granite next to a rock, a reflection. It will tolerate that. Once it's established again, and that's what's great about these plants, they're going to not need as much summer water. The leaves are such that they're not going to catch fire as much. If they do, it's going to burn them, but it's not going to explode out like a plant that loses a lot of leaves or has a lot of brown or has a lot of resin in it.
Okay. And then you mentioned something earlier about the fact that a lot of these water efficient plants or fire-wise plants are good for our environment. You said that you used the word biology. What would you say about the biology of these type of plants?
Okay, so that's a great question. So not only are they water-wise and fire-wise, but they introduce pollinators and beneficial insects into your yard. So you get pollinators like hummingbirds and bees and butterflies and beneficials like ladybugs and that take care of the aphids.
Right.
So besides having a fire-wise, water-wise landscape, you can actually have something that helps the environment, brings nature into your yard, sequesters carbon, cools down your yard, and looks fantastic.
So they would attract ladybugs, which eat aphids, so you don't have to spray with pesticides, right? Which is great for the water, right? Yeah. Okay, now what about the Nandina? See, I know a few water efficient plants working at a water agency. So this is, I see this also like kind of just all over the place, kind of in the back, and then there's usually ground cover in the front. And this is water efficient as well.
Very water efficient, and it gives really fall beauty. It starts to the foliage turns red. This is a sterile variety. It doesn't produce the berry. It's low growing. Loves the full sun. Will tolerate some shade. It's structured so that it doesn't have any resin, so it's very fire-wise. And again, too much water once these are established will kill them. So it's very, very water-wise.
During the last drought, we noticed that a lot of people, not only did they lose their turf, but we also lost a lot of trees. And so we really want to stress that people, if we have to get into a situation where you have to stress your landscape and your grass, we certainly want to save the trees. So do you have some favorite trees that you'd like to recommend?
Oh, most definitely. Like the California redbud, which is a native. It attracts, it has beautiful magenta-like flowers. It's very, very fire-wise and very water-wise too. Some of the deciduous oak trees, they're going to give you shade. They're going to give a habitat for nature in your yard, and they're going to help cool your house down, and they are going to be very water-wise too.
Okay, so I've got one more question. So this right here, is this coreopsis right here? Was this at the fire station too? Because this is so beautiful.
This was not. Everything else was. I put this in here because it's yellow, so it attracts bees. Bees like yellows, purples, and whites, but it brings in the pollinators. It's very drought tolerant once it's established. Great in like little island plantings in your yard where you have to keep distance. And it's fire-wise, so it's can be really pretty. You can have a really beautiful landscape and do your part in saving water and being fire-wise.
So the other thing that PCWA promotes is high efficiency irrigation, and so we have a rebate for customers to take out their old irrigation or sprinkler heads and put in water efficient plants or drip. So, and a lot of people want to know, how do I water this? So what would you suggest for, many of these plants, like how would you water these?
Well, you would start out with a drip watering system. Make sure that you run the drip long enough so you can saturate the real root zone. Then let it go on the dry side and then water again. So you have to check your system, but once they're established, you start pulling the emitters away from the trunk so that the whole root system spreads. Once the root system is established, the plant is very established and needs less water.
Okay, that's awesome. Okay, well, Greg, thank you so much for your time.
It was my pleasure.